It's a logi. I think we can all agree that we all have a game or two that we always come back to at some point or another after a long break. You know, no matter how long that break actually is, we always find ourselves crawling back for one more playthrough, one more turn, or one more match, whatever it may be. For me, one of those games is Squad. And man, now that the game has come out of early access into version 1.0, with 2.0 right around the corner, there's no denying that the game has come such a long way since we first looked at it in 2015. So, g'day there once again viewers, this is your mate Kamikaze78 here, and today guys, we're going to be taking a look at Squad and ask the question, is the game worth your time in 2021? So yeah, it's been a minute since I dived back into Squad, and there's no denying it's taken me a little bit of extra time to get back into the groove. To all my squad mates who kinda watched me completely cock up an RPG launched an enemy tank, I am very sorry for the respective frag round that we received to the face. But I digress. The last time we looked at this game, we asked the question, was the game at a point where it was worth its $40 AUD price point with the content it had on offer? And at the time, Squad had really started to become a good value for money early access game that was showing promise beyond, well, promise to players. It was actually producing results. And now we find ourselves well and truly out of early access, beyond 1.0 for the game, with version 2.0 being just around the corner. So let's take a look at what steps the game has taken since we last looked at Squad and see if it's still worth looking into in 2021. For the uninitiated when it comes to the game, allow me to give you a quick rundown on Squad and how it operates. Squad is a team-orientated, objective-driven, tactical first-person shooter that aims to replicate a semi-realistic combat experience wherein which players need to use strategy, teamwork, and communication to come out with a win of a match. Game sizes now scale up to about 100 players across 2 teams, with individual squads within a team taking on board unique roles and objectives to win a game. Now, using communications is as critical as it comes, whether you be communicating the location of an enemy tank to your armored support squads, or communicating to your squad mates that you need someone to cover you while you reload. It creates a sort of pseudo camaraderie that you form with the random strangers you team up with on every game, and that makes victory oh so much sweeter when things work out in this game. This is also a shooter where logistics are incredibly important. Forward spawn points need to be created by a squad leader, and constant player-controlled supply lines need to be maintained to ensure that players spawning at those forward spawns can resupply for the next engagement. It's a heavily team-orientated shooter that can be a blessing with the right team or a nightmare with the wrong one. Every single soldier in a squad has its own role to fill, whether it be a combat medic, a standard rifleman, a machine gunner, automatic rifleman, or hell, even light or heavy anti-tank. And with the new content making its way to the game, there have been new roles added to the game in turn. And right out of the gate, if there's one thing that I can say confidently about everything that has been added to the game at this point, it's that nothing has been added without purpose. Everything that has come has had meaningful impacts on the meta, and as these new roles and mechanics are launched, the correct counters are also implemented at the exact same time, and they allow for new strategies to emerge that helps to make the gameplay feel unique between matches and as the game continues to evolve. Out of all the additions or changes that we have seen made to the game, I think one of the more impactful ones of the bunch has to go to the addition of helicopters. The helos in the game now give teams with skilled pilots the ability to hot drop squads around the map at a moment's notice. It speeds up the battle flow in a way that makes sense for a squad-driven game. It also gives commanders the ability to quickly redeploy squads who feature specialist roles into positions where they are needed the most. For example, a squad with a heavy anti-tank presence can be quickly redeployed to the position of an enemy tank, for example. These helos are also capable of carrying a limited amount of supplies to forward operating bases, which can also be the difference between a win and a loss at that particular FOB. The helicopters are very well implemented, and it's been cool seeing them zipping around the battlefield at low altitudes, doing the occasional gun run from time to time, and of course acting as a key area of logistics for the game as it's launched into version 1.0. But as fun as the helicopters are in the game, I can't lie, there's another addition that I've been loving just that little bit more. armor. Now yes, vehicles like Strikers and low-end BTRs have been in the game for a very long time, but the addition of things like heavy APCs like Bradleys, BMPs and Warriors have been incredibly fun to get into, and don't even get me started on the main battle tanks. T-72s, Leopards, Abrams tanks. Man, are these vehicles fun to pilot in this game. Now I won't lie, there was a time where I was a bit concerned about armor being too powerful in a game like this, especially with the game taking on the more realistic approach. You know, armor being able to sit realistically hundreds of meters away and shell a point to no avail. But there's no denying that the armor in this game has been implemented very well. I'd even be willing here to sit here and argue that it's one of the better implementations of armor to a first-person shooter that addresses combined arms combat. Yes, a tank rolling up as an infantryman can be scary, but they are clunky, so if an infantry squad happens to ambush a tank, it can leave even the most experienced of tank crews dazed and disorientated without a doubt. Armor in this game can be immobilized by destroying tank tracks or by targeting the engine of the vehicle. AT teams can even opt to weaken a tank's offensive capabilities by targeting the turret to damage the gunner's view and therefore their control of the turret. And with the addition of the TOW missile systems to forward operating bases, armor is in no way, shape or form a silver bullet to a game by a long shot. It needs to be treated with care as a force multiplier when needed. In saying that though, these armored assets are not to be brushed aside. Every heavy vehicle has its own armor displacement to consider and component placement. Even the heaviest of ordnance will at times ricochet off a tank's armor when not placed right. And it really makes me happy to see this much attention to detail going towards the armored vehicles in this game, because without having proper armor ricochet, ballistics and stuff like that, we'd see just armor gameplay in this devolve down into how it does in Battlefield games, where, you know, you just start shooting at each other with tank rounds until one of you dies. Doesn't matter where your rounds are actually placed, it's just whoever shoots first in most cases wins. In this game, it's just not like that. Even the driver's positioning of your armor in a tank battle can be the difference between life and death, and it creates some amazing moments of gameplay that feels as though it belongs in the squad, team-orientated experience. Hell, there was a moment that myself and a squad mate experienced in a game recently where we were crewing a T-72 and we ambushed a Canadian tank. We managed to score the kill, but we had ourselves tracked, engine destroyed, and surrounded by enemy infantry at the time, so we couldn't repair safely and we were kind of a sitting duck. We called for support from allied infantry squads, and before we knew it, 2 squads secured our position to allow for a safe exfil. It was an organic, team-driven moment that really felt like what the squad experience should be. And yes, there are going to be times where you're going to get a crappy team, but these little golden moments make up for it in spades. And that's kind of the point I'm trying to make here, guys. Despite that we've seen big old heavy armored tanks, APCs and helicopters added to the game, there hasn't really been a sense of power creep over infantry players, for example. There is still a lot of validity and a lot of reasons to play as infantry in this game, and tanks, while they still feel powerful, don't feel like they're impeding on the overall experience for everyone else in the game. I've got to say it, guys, I'm kind of frothing at the mouth here over the armor gameplay, but I thoroughly enjoy how armor has been added into this game and how well it's been implemented, so my hat goes off to Offworld on that front. I should also just quickly add here that the fucking audio for the new vehicles, particularly the sounds of these heavy rounds passing over you as an infantry player, are on point. The ricochet sound effect in particular, mwah, bloody beautiful. And well, in case the addition of new vehicles and a player cap increase to 100 players per match wasn't enough, new factions are finding their way to the pool over time as well. Previously, it was only the insurgent forces, the irregular militia, US Army, and the Russian ground forces in the game. But now, the Canadian Army, the British Army, and the Middle Eastern Alliance have joined the fray, bringing their own sets of weapons, vehicles, and kits to the battle. Hell, even the Canadians have the first and only official sniper kit to play with on their faction to give them a little bit of faction flair, if you will. Alongside new content, we've also seen a complete animation overhaul, the addition of vaulting, and a new free look mechanic that gives players a little bit more control in combat over their player character. It does go to show that the developers are, yes, keen on adding the new and shiny to the game, as any developer would be, but they're also committed to keeping the quality of core systems up to par with not only the evolving industry, but also with their new content that is making an appearance to the game. The new stuff is of high quality, but it's going to be impossible to enjoy that new content if the core gameplay is clunky and out of place. So it's great to see them making improvements to the old stuff as well. To be completely honest with you guys, there isn't a lot of bad things to say about Squad and the experience it provides nowadays. I can complain from time to time about how glitchy helicopters will look when they're moving at really fast speeds, but when this game was just the new kid on the block, it promised a lot. And it was just a promise back in the day when you compared it to what it is now. But Offworld have managed to keep their promises over the years, and they have been committed to the game, and it shows. As I've said before, everything that has been added has been done so to the benefit of the overall experience and gives players more tactical freedom to secure victories in matches. The game is 100% worth your time and your hard-earned money in 2021 if you're into this kind of game. But if you're the lone warrior type, then you might save yourself a headache or two by skipping out on this one. Squad isn't a game that tries to please everyone. It goes all out on making particular players happy, and it does so very well. But that is naturally going to piss some other players off just thanks to the core experience. All I can say now, guys, is that as we close off the video today, I am very excited for the future of this game. Its roadmap shows great promise with planned content including new factions like Pan Asia, USMC, and my personal favourite, the Australian Armed Forces. You know, good to see a bit of Aussie love being thrown into these games. Hell, we're even seeing amphibious vehicles, a UI overhaul, fast roping mechanics, overhauls to helicopter mechanics. The list just goes on and on, guys. It's a game that has always excited me, and I hope to continue bringing you guys good news surrounding Squad as 2021 pushes on. I'm really looking forward to bringing you guys some more content from this game in the future. But guys, that does conclude today's video. If you enjoyed it, please feel free to backhand the like button, it goes a long way, and if not, well, then that other button works just as well. Let me know in the comment section down below if you have any feedback for the channel, or if you want to drop any feedback on Squad overall, then you're more than welcome to do that there as well, guys. Make sure you stay subscribed to keep up to date with all content in the future, and well, you can also catch me live on Twitch, and you know, come hang out on the Discord, links in the description down below. Once again, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video. Peace out, and I will see you guys all in the next one. Take care, guys. Have a good one.